Welcome to another week of Family Life with Mama Rita. Hey, today, I can't wait myself. Over the past few weeks, we've been dealing with raising adolescent children and then teenage rebellion. We brought in mothers, we brought in fathers, we brought in parents of the teen ministry, pastor in charge of the teen ministry. Today, guess who is in the studio with me? The teens themselves. And I can't wait to hear them talk. I can't wait to hear what they expect from us as parents. I can't wait to hear the way they want to be treated. I can't wait myself. I don't know about you, but welcome to today's program. Ivana, Samuel, Antonia, you are welcome.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you so much.
I saw you children, teenagers, born in Royal House Chapel. I came to name some of you. I was at your outdooring. Today, look at you. I'm hosting you. I want you to introduce yourselves a bit. Let the audience know who you are. So your name, maybe the school, or the school you are going to, So from Ivana.
I'm Ivana Ashison.
Okay.
I'm 15 years.
Let them hear you.
I'm 15 years.
Okay.
And I'm going to St. Joseph's Senior High School.
You are going to St. Rose's High School. Wow. Samuel.
Emmanuel.
Hey.
Emmanuel Agomeda.
It means you are supposed to add Samuel to your name. Emmanuel Agomeda Tete.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I'm in Presec.
You are in Presec. Wow.
17.
I saw you crawling here in your diapers. You're already in Presec and you are 17.
Yeah.
Wow. Tonia.
Hi, my name is Tonia Yosin. I'm 18 and I'm in the University of Ghana. Lagos.
You are what?
18.
You are what?
18 years, please.
Tonia. Just yesterday I saw you. Doesn't mean I'm growing old.
Oh,
And you are University of Ghana.
yes, please.
You've done well. I'm proud of all of you.
Thank you very
St.
much.
Rose's Presec and the University of Ghana. Wow. Now tell me, what is teenage like?
Teenage life, like.
Yes.
It's
Speak aloud.
teenage life is like, it's basically like being an adult. It's just that you don't make all the decisions for yourself.
Okay, it's just like being an adult. Have you been an adult before?
Yeah, like, how do I say it? You're supposed to, people expect you to be sensible enough to make decisions. At the same time, people don't expect you to make certain decisions for yourself. So that's the balance.
So, okay.
Yeah, for me, being a teenager is full of lessons, like learning lessons and getting experiences. Maybe if you compare it to an adult, you may not necessarily have the experiences they are having.
Okay.
But then I feel like being a teenager is a foretaste of what being an adult is going to be like. So like he said, you are expected to take certain decisions. You are supposed to make certain choices. But then yet still, they end up making the decisions for you, even though they want you to make certain decisions. But then, I mean, it's a way of learning. So that's, as I said earlier, it's full of lessons and getting experiences and stuff like that.
Wow. Ivana.
Teenage life for me, I think, is the time in your life where you get to experience certain things that will help you as you grow older as an adult and to be able to like get into the world. Like you learn stuff, as she said, and then you're able to adapt to being older. If it makes
Wow.
sense.
Let me ask you, do you think you've made mistakes yet?
Not big mistakes.
Yeah,
Like,
not big mistakes, but then
Not what?
big mistakes.
Not big mistakes. So what do you call big mistakes? And
Big
which one
mistakes.
do you call small mistakes?
Big mistakes are life changing. Like, it has changed your path
Okay.
that you're supposed to be taking.
Okay.
But small mistakes are the ones that you learn from.
Small mistakes are the ones you learn from. I like that.
Yeah.
So what are some of the small mistakes you've made?
Oh, plenty.
Plenty. Mention just a few.
A few. There are many. Lies.
Lies.
There are many.
Being rude to mommy.
Oh, that one there.
That one there. It always happens. Wow. Tonya, do you think you've made mistakes?
Not entirely. Like you said, big mistakes. I don't think I've made big mistakes that will change the course of my life. There are points in time where I have thought that, you know, when it comes to school selection and things like that, like for secondary school, I selected some schools. I didn't get those. And then I had an option of picking to go to 2 schools. And I eventually made a choice. When I got in, I was like, did I make the right decision? Did I make the wrong decision? But then, turn out of events, looking at how things were going, I'm like, nah, wherever God is taking me, I'm going. But the small mistakes there, I've made small mistakes. Like, I think I traveled with my parents once, and we were buying stuff, and Daddy bought us jewelry, and we like jewelry a lot. So he bought it, and then he told the cashier, I think this is enough jewelry to last you for a month. And I said, no, he said a year.
Okay.
I said, nah, it can't even take you through a month. I thought it was funny, but then everybody was quiet and looking at me like, what does this girl say?
Wow.
So then after we left, I quietly asked Mommy, I was like, did I say something wrong? And she was like, you said a lot of things wrong.
Wow.
So then I was like, okay, so you cannot say things like that, you know? So yeah, plenty mistakes like that.
Ivana, do you think you've made mistakes?
Well, as you said, not big mistakes, but like just a little few ones, a little small ones, yeah. Like maybe, like I said, choosing the schools too. Maybe I may have made wrong decisions, and preparing for the BC too, I may have like learned less than I was supposed to learn, and maybe like, let's say, entering for a competition that I was supposed to enter, like but I didn't submit an entry, or like, you know, other opportunities like that.
Have you met stubborn friends in your school? Rebellious friends?
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
Is there any major one, any major experience?
Yeah, like in Pisek, there's this guy, he said he doesn't believe in God.
He doesn't believe in God.
So he's God. He can say extreme things like F word God, or very extreme things. So he doesn't even come to school now.
He doesn't come to school now?
He just come for the exam, come and write and go.
You mean he doesn't come for classes?
No. He doesn't need the school.
And do you think his parents know about that?
No, I think his mom is sick.
His mom is sick?
I'm sure that's why he's...
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you come into contact with very naughty?
I've encountered a lot of stubborn people. Like right now, I mean, you're in university, I experience a lot of people. I personally don't make friends with a lot of stubborn people. So I can't say I have friends that are stubborn, but then per my observations, you know.
Okay.
Like, you know, we had a very short semester.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are learning and doing a whole lot of things. And you see people my age, like first year with me, and they are going out and going for parties and going a whole lot of things. And I'm like...
First year?
I'm like,
you're already going for parties and clubbing?
Oh, yes. And I'm like, where are you getting the time? Because I can't go anywhere. I'm always learning, always doing something. And these people are getting involved, and you see them smoking shisha and drinking. And I'm like, these people are all my age, you know?
First year, your age. They are smoking, drinking.
And a whole lot. And it's very interesting. I'm like, wow. Wow. But then, anyway.
Wow. Ivana?
Okay, well, mainly, I don't really like making friends that much, but I've come across certain people, like, sometimes, like, on social media, like, you chat certain people. Some people will chat you, and then, like, you respond, and then, like, they start talking, and then sometimes, as you, like, go through what they actually say, sometimes you realize that, like, they are trying to pressure you into things you don't want to do. But yeah.
So have you ever been influenced by any of your bad friends? Of course, you said, but should I say bad friends or bad colleagues?
I mean, I don't believe in a thing, something like somebody influences you to make a decision. If you made a decision, then that means you made it yourself.
Okay, so you don't believe that somebody can influence you
to do something. I feel like if you're a teenager, you must have belief in yourself. So if you have belief in yourself, if somebody tells me to do something and I did it, then that means I obviously wanted to do it, regardless of what the person just came to facilitate the process. But the process would have happened without the person just came to tell me to do it. But it doesn't mean that the person influenced me to make that decision.
So what you are saying is that you have a choice.
Yeah.
You can decide to do it or not.
To do it.
So there's nothing like peer pressure, somebody influencing you negatively.
There's peer pressure. You see, pressure in itself is something that you allow. So if you can close your eyes to pressure, pressure doesn't exist in actual fact. But if you put yourself in a situation to believe that, okay, these people are my friends, and so the whole thing that I must be loyal to people. So you want to do, but if you know yourself and you know that, like if you think I'm guy, so if you don't want to be my friend, like there are more than 1 billion people in this world. You obviously.
So Emmanuel, tell me, how come some of your friends are able to be influenced negatively by their friends?
So
you believe that it's a choice. There are so many friends. I mean, 1,001 friends. So if one friend is naughty or one friend is trying to lure you into negative things, you have a choice, to move away and not make that person your friend. But how come others your age, others who are in the same class, are not able to stand the pressure?
You see, the honest truth is that, number one, the first thing is like where you come from.
First, what form are you?
Form 3.
Form 3, okay. So it means that you've gone through enough of secondary school life to be influenced. Okay.
The first thing is that you must, I always have my parents on my mind when I'm doing something. So let's say if I'm in school, and let's say somebody says, oh, let's go out, let's go and do this. Like I weigh the options, like, would my mother be happy to hear about it? Maybe people would tease you and be like, oh, mommy's boy, this thing. But most of the time, when you make decisions based on, like, because another thing is when you see the sacrifices people make for you, it doesn't make you do certain things.
I like that. When you see the sacrifices, I hope a young person there is listening. And that when you see the sacrifices people make for you, in other words, for anything you do, think about the sacrifices your parents are making for you. The school fees, the clothes, the feeding, for some of you, the holidays, the kind of home, the kind of house you live in. You see mommy waking up early in the morning, going to work just to bring home, something. Your dad wakes up early in the morning just to bring in income. You see their sacrifices, and then you think that for the sacrifices they are making for you, I like that. You're a very wise guy.
Thank you.
Wow. Continue.
So number one, you must remember your parents, like
your
in
parents.
Every decision, and then.
So number one, remember your parents and remember the sacrifices they are making for you.
And then you must also know, like you must have set goals that
you must have
to achieve personally.
Personal goals. I like that.
If you have, let's say, if somebody says, even if you don't like school, let's say you want to become a footballer, because of that goal, some things will not come in. When you are busy with a lot of stuff, let's say you know that in the morning I have to wake up and go and jog, I have to do this, or I want to become a musician, I have to write this, I have to learn how to play the guitar. When you are busy with a lot of stuff, other people can't come in influence you to do something because you know that, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that. So I can't forfeit the
So number one, think about your parents and the sacrifices. Number two, get yourself busy. Have goals, get yourself busy. If you are studying, you are learning how to play the guitar, or you are learning how to play the piano, you want to be a footballer, and you are going for training, you are jogging. What Emmanuel is saying is that you won't have time for friends to influence you. Oh, wow.
And then the last thing is that you must always, everything comes back to God, because in actual fact, you might have everything together, and then somebody can just influence you in a split second like this.
Wow.
And it's just, sometimes my mom will come and tell me stories about how she'll be afraid, and she'll be telling me stories about how somebody was very smart and the person smoked. Hey man, no, don't go and do some. So it's like, because it's in the Bible that we do the things that we don't want to do, and the things that we want to do, we are not able to do it, as Paul says. So most of the time, even the sins that we commit, they are not things that under normal circumstance we will do, but we are influenced by the flesh. So if you have God in you, how do I say, it fights those things, because under normal circumstance, everybody will be wayward and do the stuff that they want to do.
Wow. So, number one, think about your parents and their sacrifices. Number two, get yourself busy. You must have a goal. Where are you going? What do you want to do with your life? When you know where you are going and you are working towards your goals, you are busy in life, busy with school, busy with attending classes and lectures, busy studying, busy with after school programs, learning piano and all that. You won't have time for that. And then the third, the God factor. It makes a lot of difference in your life. Oh, wow. Tonya.
Yes.
What do you have to say?
Well, I agree.
My question is, you think that you don't have friends who are rebellious. You don't have naughty friends.
Not a lot.
But how come others your age, also first year in university, can smoke, can go out partying? You think, you don't have time. Books and everything is taking your time. How come they have so much time to be smoking? And you mentioned some words.
Shisha and
What?
Shisha. Yeah.
That thing that they smoke.
Yeah. It's actually become quite common now.
It's become common now.
Yeah, amongst the people that do that. It has been like, it's now people say it's safer than smoking cigarettes and weed, but then in actual fact, it's just to me it's the same. But then anyway, I feel like other people easily get influenced to do such things because now, because of technology and everything, we are exposed to a lot. I've heard adults say that the things that our children know now, we don't even know.
That's right.
It's because of technology. If you watch a lot of videos, personally, I like watching a lot of videos. If you watch a lot of videos, you see people our age, and you're like, is this person actually the same age as me? Because you see them doing some things, and so somebody who doesn't grow up in a Christian home, you see a video of this person doing that. You're like, this person is doing it. Why can't I do it? So then you actually set yourself to get involved in those things. Like you said, you need to have goals and aspirations and stuff like that. Most people do not know where they are heading. They've not been taught to set goals. They just know that, I want to be a doctor or I want to be a lawyer. You don't just become a lawyer. Most of us are taught that when you go to school, you learn and then you become a lawyer. There are plenty of people who went to school and they're in the streets. You have to learn to set goals along the way. When you set goals along the way, that's when you get to keep yourself busy. People don't know that. So then if somebody comes, oh, let's go to a party, then we get up and go. Oh, I'm going to the beach, they get up and go. Oh, I'm going to do this. Then you see people doing a whole lot of things and nobody is telling them to stop, because the way people are telling them to stop, or let me say their parents, I go out with friends and I come back and they are shouting at me, hey, why did you go out? What is it? You don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I'm tired and this person came to call me that, oh, let's go out. I'm like, okay, let's go. Because I actually have
what did you say? Who shouts on you that you are going out?
Maybe your parents.
Okay.
They shout, you come home, and they're like, where did you go? And then they are screaming at you, and they insult you, and a whole lot of things. You may not feel like, let me say, compelled to listen to them, because they are even annoying you. Like, why did you go out? Hey, mommy, you go out. Why can't I go out? Most of us are not taught to understand why we shouldn't do this.
Okay.
Personally, my parents speak to us a lot.
Okay.
My dad speaks to us a lot. So there are certain things that we don't do. Not because mommy said, don't do it, so you not do it. Because we have been taught to understand why we shouldn't do it. For example, being a Christian, there are certain types of music and certain type of movies and things you're not supposed to listen to. I had a conversation with my father and he told me that I will not tell you to stop. I have taught you what is right and what is wrong. Make the decision. When you make the decision and you make the mistake,
you look like him.
Then when you make the decision and you make the mistake, you learn the lesson. So most teenagers now, they don't have that. Therefore, they are able to get influence. And he mentioned God. God is very, very, very important now as a teenager. Personally, without God, I do not know what I may have been doing now as a teenager. I'm a teenager. Okay. There are a lot of things I want to do. There are a lot of things I see and they are fun. I'm like, wow, this would be nice to do. But then I'm like, no, I'm a Christian. I can't do that.
The God factor.
I can't do that. Like he said, I ask myself, if I do this, will mommy be happy? If I do this, will God be happy? So I remember when I was going to school, we were in the car and I asked my mommy, Mommy, I'm going to university. I know I'm at liberty to do a lot of things. What don't you want me to do? What do you want me to do?
Oh, wow. You asked Mom.
I asked them,
what don't you want me to do?
What do you want me to do? Because, I mean, I'm going. I can go and do anything.
That's right.
Know. So what do you want me to do? And she just told me, go and do what we have taught you to do.
I like that.
Just go and project the home you come from. And that's what I'm doing.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
I also think that most of the time they say the line is very, how do I say, it's very thin. And what people must remember is that just because somebody is doing something doesn't mean that the person is bad. That's you have to always remember that teenagers may be making certain decisions, but at heart they are very good people.
Okay.
So it's hard to see somebody and be like, oh, this person is a good person, somebody is smoking, somebody is doing these things. But it's very easy for you to go from a very serious Christian to a very ungodly person. It's very easy. Those transitions are very easy. So sometimes, like I remember there were things like I said, when you are small and they said that they describe sex to you, for example. You say, what is that? But when you are growing up, then the whole idea of sex becomes more interesting to you than it was initially. That's how even sin is. Sometimes you may see sin and be like, I'll never do it. How can I become gay? How can I be? But the truth is that God is the one keeping that line between us. So if you ever forget yourself and think that, oh, okay, it's because of this and this and this that I'm doing that I can prevent those, you end up making a mistake. The honest truth is that the people who are bad and the people who are good, the only difference is God. So you must always remember that. And even if you are good, you must always keep preaching that to yourself that it's God that is doing it, it's not me, because in actual fact, without God, you...
Ivana, do you have anything to say? You are yet to go to the secondary school. So, as for you, you shouldn't make mistakes at all. You have somebody who is in Form 3 per sec.
Oh, no, he's completed. He's not in KNUST.
No, I'm not talking about your brother. I'm talking about Emmanuel. So I'm talking about we in the studio now. You have Emmanuel, who is in Form 3 per sec. You have Tonya, who's gone through that stage of being in the SSS and our first year university. And then you are yet to enter into first year. Oh my God, you have a long way. St. Rose's, Form 1, Form 2, Form 3.
Okay, for me, someone who really thinks a lot.
You think a lot. I like that.
Like, if I make it, for example, if my friend tells me that, oh, let's go to a party, and then me, in my first thing in my head would be like, oh, why not? But then I'll think that if I go to this party, a lot of things may go wrong. I may end up being in somewhere I'm not supposed to be. Like maybe I'll drink something I think, oh, it's just normal juice, and then things may happen. So I'll be like, nah, I won't go. Because if I go later on, if I think about what I've done or what would happen, what have happened, like I may have regrets, or I may have, like, maybe hate myself for doing something like that. So I'm not, but yet still I can still be pressured. Like maybe in the spur of the moment, like, oh, we are all going home, and like, oh, why don't we go to the party? Why don't we go to the mall? And I've done it once, and then like I didn't like it.
Wow.
Like, well, I think after a program at school,
Okay.
I was supposed to go home. Then I was like, my friends were going to the mall to go and get food. I was like, why don't I go? And like everybody was going, I just went with them. When I didn't check the time. By the time I got home, it was 5. My mom was angry with me, and like, I regretted actually doing it. So like, I made my mind that I will not do something like that again, because like, I didn't like what happened in the end.
Do you think church has played a part in making you who you are today? Has church played a part in molding you?
Yeah.
In Presec, people are smoking. In Presec, we have um, um, people on drugs. We have people who are jumping the wall to go partying and all that. At the university, people are clubbing and partying and what have you. Do you think that church has played a part in shaping your life and making you who you are today, and the way you speak and the way you even think? Do you think church has played a part?
Yeah, church has played a very, very important part, because I asked my father one time, why do we go to church every Sunday? I mean, we pray. Every Sunday we go to church, we pray, we have worship, we sing, then we come home, then we have devotion, and you read your, why am I going to church every Sunday? And he was like, you go to church every Sunday to refresh yourself. Because left alone within the week, you are allowed to make decisions. You're allowed to make good decisions. You're allowed to make bad decisions. You're allowed to make decisions God will be happy with. You're allowed to make decisions God will not be happy with. And when you come to church, there are people who are telling you what to do, what not to do, in the sense that they are telling you more about the God you are serving and what he expects from you and what you are supposed to do. So as a young person growing up, going to church every Sunday, learning about God, learning about what to do, what not to do. You're in Sunday school and say, do not steal, do not do this. I mean...
You are speaking the way the teachers will speak at Sunday school.
Yeah, they say, don't steal, don't do this, don't go here, don't follow that friend. As a child, you hear it and you're like, okay, teacher said don't do this, don't do that. And some of us will take it to heart. Some of you will not take it to heart. But then going on and on and on and keep coming to church, you are learning new things. Sometimes you come to church and then what you experienced within the week, and you have an issue you want to solve or something you didn't understand, and you come to church and it's said and it's addressed and you understand. So it has actually shaped who I am today, because it has made me think in a certain way. It has made me look at things in a certain way. It has made me make certain decisions in a certain way. And I've actually grown to love being in church and come to church. So yeah.
Ivana?
For me, I think it has really shaped my life, because, like, as she said, like, as you go to Sunday school, they keep saying certain things. Oh, do not steal, do not lie, don't say, the Bible says this, the Bible says that. And then when you come back home, and then you are faced with certain things. For example, like, mommy is done cooking, and the pot is open. And then there's a possibility that you can go and take something from the pot. Then remember what is just said on Sunday. Do not steal. And then you know that after you steal, definitely ask, who took this? And then you would have to lie. The later you have to like keep telling more lies, cover up that lie. So like, I think that coming to church has really reshaped me in the sense that you remember everything they teach. You may not remember actually everything, but like what they actually say helps you make decisions that will benefit you later on in life.
Manuel.
I think church is like, in actual fact, if people were disciplined, church, you can't take church out because church is like a check. Because when you
church is like a check.
yeah,
I like that.
Because when you come to church, after you've been at home, maybe you read the Bible, you do everything you're supposed to do, you pray. Some people fast 40 days and 40 nights, but they never go to church. The problem with not going to church is that the atmosphere and the environment in church spiritually like checks you and always reminds you about things that you wouldn't have been reminded of for the whole entire week. So even if it's better for you to, even if you are the most ungodly person on earth, it's better for you to constantly come to church every Sunday, because as you are constantly entering the church, as you're constantly, it's checking your behavior, it's checking your attitude. But if you tell yourself that, oh, I can sit at home, I can watch a live stream, I can do this, I can do that, you will not get that physical experience that you get when you come to the church and then somebody says something and then it will hit you. And then you feel like, oh, maybe I should start living right, I should start doing this. Because every time you come to church on a Sunday and you hear the message, you always think, you always tell yourself that, okay, I think I need to live a better life, I need to do things better.
Have you ever woken up one day and you've regretted for being born again and for being the church type? Have you ever regretted?
No, never.
Are you sure?
Like, oh, I don't understand.
Okay. I remember when Deacon Adromo, this week she was 27. It was this week, last week. Now she's old. But when she finished, is it O levels at the time, Form 5, then they had what you call prom. Is that the way you call it?
Yeah.
Where there's, school party and, all that. And I've read so much and I've heard so much about proms where a lot of the girls break their virginity on that day. People have sex for the first time. People smoke for the first time. I mean, parents think that their children or their wards are in school. And, the children feel all grown up. I'm done with school, so I can do anything, It's going to be the last time I'm meeting some of my friends. You know it. So she had gone for the party. And the prom was supposed to start at 6. But I think it started by 7:30. And just when the thing was getting sweet and very interesting, I think I had traveled then. Then Apostle General said she should be picked back home. Oh my God. Then she calls me, crying. Mommy, I don't want to be a pastor's daughter again. I don't want to be a pastor's daughter again. If I wasn't a pastor's daughter, I'll still be here with my friends. Just when the party was getting nicer and sweeter, Daddy says I should come home. I don't want to be a pastor. Have you ever come to that place where you think that, oh, I feel like being any other child? Or I wish I was the child of this parent. My friends can go to all the parties and, their parents are okay. With me, it has to be church. It has to be camp. It has to be Sunday school retreat. It has to be teens this. Have you ever come to that place where you think that, oh my God, I think I've had enough with church. I wish my parents were not the church type and I could be free?
For me, no. I've never gotten to that point. But then I've actually had the thought of what if I wasn't...
What if?
What if I wasn't a church girl? What if I wasn't born into this family and I was born into another kind of family? And I also think, like, very far. So then I had a whole lot of scenarios in my head, and I was like, no, I can't. I can't do that. I can't afford to do that, because where I see myself getting to when I grow older, if I decide or I was put on that path, I don't think I would have been able to get there. So yeah, I've actually had the what if. I'm like, no. If I do that?
Honestly, I don't think anybody who is born again, like, I don't think Pastor Auntie Nadromo was saying that. She was saying that she doesn't want to be a pastor. It was just in the heat of the moment, and she was angry, and she was saying it. But if you sit down and you look critically at it, being born again or being a Christian, it's more comfortable than you not being a Christian, because most of the time, like, if you look at people who are not Christians and the way they are living, you can see that there are instances that is fun, but after the fun, you can literally see that
their
life is messing up. Like, you can see somebody who is not learning, the person is not studying, the person is failing in class, the person is enjoying what they are doing, but you as a Christian who is not even enjoying what they are enjoying, you can see the end of this thing. So most of the time, I don't think anybody will say that they don't want to be. I maybe she was saying it because she was at a party enjoying herself. Somebody has come to call her to the house. Yeah. But I don't think that anybody who is born again will feel like they don't want to be born again.
Ivana, you are still in the early stages of being a teen. Do you think you've ever regretted for being the daughter of pastors? And maybe if you were an ordinary person, have you ever felt that?
No, I won't say that I regretted, but like, I would have maybe, like, if, like she said, if I was somebody else, maybe this party, I would have been there. Or maybe I would have been on this phone. I'd have been using this phone. I'd have been on this group page. I would have been there. But then, if you think about it, if I had actually been there, there are things, the opportunities that I would actually, I've missed. For example, let's say if I was actually there, I won't have time for my books.
Okay.
The studying I was supposed to study, I won't have been able to study. I won't have been able to be who I am.
Okay.
Because I'd have been so messed up, as in my mind, thinking of those things that I'll forget, or I'll actually lose focus of what is in front of me.
Wow.
Yeah.
And before we go on break, I want to ask you this question. Have you come to a place where friends have laughed and mocked at you just because you were the church type? During our time, they used to call it Crife. I mean, Christian fellowship people. And, you know, all these other people will laugh at us. They should look at us. You know, have you come to that place where people have laughed and mocked at you because you were the church type?
Yeah, but most of the time, you have to remember that most of the time when people are mocking you, they are mocking you because it hurts them.
It hurts them?
It hurts, like, if you observe, let's say, somebody who is very creepy, let's say, talking about the things they do, like, I wake up in the middle of the night to pray, and I do this. I'm not creepy like that, so when I hear about it, I'm like, what? Jesus is not going today, he's not coming tomorrow, like, relax. So it's the same way when, let's say, you say that, okay, I'm keeping myself to marriage, and somebody has already lost their virginity, and the person hears you saying that, it will be like, this boy cry, because the person has not been able to put themselves through that discipline. Okay. So hearing you say that just annoys them.
Oh, so people actually laugh at you because it annoys them.
Yeah.
And they envy you for being able to keep yourself. Wow. Wow. Tonya, have you come to the place where people have laughed at you because everybody's taking boyfriend and all that, and that's for you?
Yeah. Yes, from secondary school till now.
Okay.
I've had people laugh at me, and I have learned to ignore.
Okay.
I actually never let it bother me. I never saw it as a bother of you laughing at me as being a Christian, because I've actually made friends because I am different.
Okay.
My current very, very, very close friend became friends with me because she was like, I admire how you wake up every morning and you are able to read your Bible, and before you sleep you make sure you read your Bible and you don't care what anybody says. In secondary school I was in a class of 11 people.
Okay.
And I seemed to be the only Krife person.
Okay.
Because I was always the person going to, let's say, all night, or going to pray, or I'll come late, like a few minutes late for prayer because I went to pray or something. And currently now, in my hostel, I'm the only person who wakes up like very, very early. Then I'll go to church and come back, or I'll go for prayers. And they are like, you cry, why? Or
why?
What's you cry? Then, like, let's say they are doing their things and jumping around and I'm not getting involved. They can laugh at me or be like, yeah, this girl, but then it doesn't bother me because I know what I'm doing and I'm confident about what I'm doing. And like what he said, there are some people who just laugh at you because they envy where you are. I'm happy that you envy me. The fact that I'm doing it can also cause you to want to become like me. So then you laughing at me, I see it, if you laugh at me and I stop, I feel like I've degraded myself.
Wow.
Because why should I degrade myself because you are jealous or because you can't do what I am doing? No, not at all. Yeah.
Better.
For me, I've not really experienced that
Yeah,
in my face.
because you haven't entered into the secondary school yet.
Not in my face, like telling me directly.
Okay.
But maybe they be talking behind my back, but like...
Wow. Hey! I'm hearing a lot of things from these kids. I never knew that people who actually laugh at us because they think we are Krife, they laugh at us because they envy us. They envy us because they can't do the things we do. They can't keep themselves like we have kept themselves. We have kept ourselves. They can't wake up to pray like we can wake up to pray. They can't read their Bibles like we. So they just envy us, and because of envy and jealousy, they laugh at us. Oh my God. I hope a young person there is listening to me. If somebody is laughing at you because you go to church, my darling, they wish they can also go to church like you are. We will go on break, on a short break, and we'll come back.
Hi, this is the Apostle General Sam Crunchy Ankara is my name. Another Easter is here. We call it Easter 2021. And all roads lead to Royal House Chapel, and all our social handles and our networks. And all my friends, my sons, my daughters around the nations of the world. I'll be coming your way with the power and the word of God. We are going to experience resurrection. We are going to die with Christ and resurrect with him. We are going to experience the efficacy of the blood. The theme for this year is Barabbas or Christ. Choose Christ or Barabbas. Choose. There comes a time when you have to make a choice in life. Many times people have made choices under pressure. And when you are making a choice based on voices you are hearing, when you are making a choice based on people's perceptions and people's counsel and people's advice, when you are making choices based on rumors and based on things of the flesh, you will normally not make it. Aaron did not make it when he made a decision, took a decision under pressure. But as for you, you are exempted from making that calamity and that mistake. It is happening Sunday 28th, Palm Sunday, 2 services, 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock in the morning. And then Good Friday, there is a morning service at 8 o'clock and then also an evening service at 7 o'clock. And then on Sunday, we have 3 services, 8, 10, and then the last service is 5 p.m. in the evening, communion impartation service. On Friday evening, we shall have feet washing ceremony. It will be powerful. I'm expecting you there. Come, let's experience the grace and the goodness and the mercies of God. God is going to present you the opportunity to make a choice. Make a divine, effective choice that will lead you to honor and to your liberty and to your redemption. God bless you. I love you. I will see you at Easter 2021 at Royal House Chapel and all our social handles.
Welcome back to Family Life with Mama Rita. Oh my God, it's getting very interesting, and I think I'm enjoying the teenagers more than the parents who came. Oh, these children, oh my God. I can just tell what their future will be like. I mean, wisdom at its peak. When we were in school, I mean, we were always bothered about the names people called us and the way people laughed at us and all that. But I see that they are very, very okay with it. But now let's go to your parents. What is life like with your parents?
Okay, so for me, personally, life with my parents is actually good. It's okay. I know growing up, so let's say from like 6, 7, when we were beginning to understand things a little bit more, my parents would do something and I would get annoyed, like, why are they doing that? Or, you know, something. But then, interestingly enough, when you have problems at school or something, they are the same people you go to and you go and cry on them and be like, Mommy, this person did this to me, or Daddy, this person did this to me. And for my parents, they have listened. My parents have listened.
And it's so funny, eh? All of you, your parents have been on the show. It's so funny. Your parents have been here, and I would introduce you at the end because I'm bringing your parents on next week. Mm-hmm. Your mom was just on last week, and your mom has, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
My parents, they listen. They listen a lot.
They listen?
Yeah, they listen. And when they listen, then they guide you. Okay. You know, I watched, when I was in school, I was watching, and I remember my mom talking about how we tell her everything, like when it comes to boys and things like that. It's because they listen. I know people who have things like that they want to talk about, and they're afraid to tell their parents because the first time they tell them, then they will just shut them off or shut them up.
Oh, okay. So your parents listen when you tell them about boys and all that?
Yeah, they listen.
So have you had a crush before?
Oh, yes. Yes, and when you tell them, I mostly tell my mom.
You mostly tell your mom.
And when you tell her, she will listen to you, and she will even tease you and be like, okay, but then don't do this, or do this, or don't do that, you know. And so it has actually been interesting and fun because they listen to you and they try and see it from your point of view. Okay. And it's never really about them shutting you down or discouraging you or making you feel like you are a child. So don't, no.
Okay.
Yeah, basically.
When you are 18 now?
Yes.
Are you 18 this year, or you're going to be 19 this year?
I turned 18.
18 this year, so you'll be 19 next year. Mm-hmm. When do you hope to enter into a relationship? Have you been thinking about it?
Yes, I have. Mm-hmm. And it's like level 300. That's
Pardon?
Level 300.
Level 300. Level 300 like when you're about 20.
20 years old, yeah.
Okay.
That's when I.
So what if somebody comes level 200 and you are beginning to have a crush on that person?
I'm not ready.
You are not ready? You are sure?
Yes. Like most of the time when I'm in situations like that, either I tell you that I'm not ready, or I take myself out of situations that would eventually lead up to that. Okay. It's basically self-control.
Wow. Yeah. Emmanuel.
Her parents are nice.
You said her parents are
nice.
Her parents are I can imagine your mom. typical scripture union member.
But the honest truth is that my mom, where she comes from, like her parents were very strict.
Yeah.
So, and then she's also, I don't know whether because of the way her family was, she's very like, I don't know how to say it. If the slightest thing, like, she will always dig into it and want to find out like what's actually happening. So, most of the time, let's say if I like a girl, my mother will find out. My mother doesn't.
If you do what?
If I like a girl.
If you like a girl,
she'll find out.
She'll
I don't
find
know
out
how the mechanism behind it, but she'll find out. And she finds out, you see, you notice that she's not comfortable with it, but you have to understand. I don't like they don't always listen, but their parents, and then how do I say, they make up for it in other ways, but them not listening to might be because of the age gap.
Okay.
Some of the things, like his father used to slap him, and my mother too. Mother used to slap. So the fact that they are even listening and they are not touching you is like
it's a miracle.
So I like my dad my dad gives advice like he'll give it to you and he won't give it to you again. So if you take it, take it. If you not take it, take it. But my mom is the one who talk a lot and say. So you must understand them and then see, okay, this is how she is and this is how we don't always agree, but I know that they mean well.
Okay.
And so you just tolerate some of the things that they do and then.
Have you had a crush on any girl, any lady?
Oh, many, several.
Several.
When I boy, my father told me a story. He said that he sat in a trotro and he fell in love with a girl. So
your father told you that story?
So he made me understand that, like when you're a boy, you can be walking and see a girl and like that girl, because boys are more like girls based on physical features. So I can see a girl today and like her, and see another girl tomorrow and like her, and see. I've had many crashes. That's what the crashes do.
Plenty. So when do you hope to start serious dating?
Me, I honestly, I feel like this thing, I don't know how to say it, but other things will be in the way, and relationships are some windy thing be. And so, like, I feel like if it will get in the way of stuff I don't know, honestly.
You don't know now. You are still very young.
Yeah, you don't know what can happen. Somebody can come in, take your this thing.
Take your.
but you just have to. Yeah, I just pray that I don't make a mistake. So anything happens. So.
Okay. Ivana, what's your relationship like with your parents?
For me, like, I feel that my parents are like the only constants in your life, like, because no matter what happens, they'll be there. When I make the wrong or right decisions, they'll be there. So it doesn't matter what is going on. I know that, like, if nobody is there for my parents to be there, so like I can talk to them and tell them stuff, and then I
get a lot of teenagers come to me complaining about their parents. Their parents are forever nagging. Their parents are complaining. Their parents are lecturing them. Their parents are always quoting scriptures to them. How do you find your parents? Nagging parents, always quoting scriptures, always telling you what to do and what not to do, and you know.
They nag, but I don't know how to say it. It's basically out of concern. Most of the time, the people who report their parents, they are not serious, because.
You think they are not serious?
Yeah, because in actual fact, you can literally see that your mother is sacrificing most of the time, unless your mother doesn't sacrifice for you.
Okay.
But if your mother is making sacrifices for you, then you should always remember that if she's saying something, she might be wrong, she might be correct, but she's your mother.
Okay.
So why will you go behind her back and tell somebody that my mother is, as for talking there, everybody's mother talks.
Everybody's mother, including me.
I don't know.
I like that. Everybody's mother talks.
So you just have to understand it and then just tolerate it and then handle it properly.
And mommy talks more than daddy.
Oh yeah, that one.
Is mommy always complaining? Daddy complaining? Are they always lecturing you, telling you what to do and what not to do?
They don't. As for complain comes as and when. But then my parents are not the type to always complain. Because personally, if you like complaining, it will get to a point I will not mind you.
You won't mind?
I won't mind you. So if you keep talking plenty, so my parents, they don't actually, like, as and when you do something, and so then they'll talk. For example, my mother, if my mother calls you in a certain way, you know
that this one
you've done something. So by the time you are going like, hey, what did I do? Then you start, did I do this? Did I do that? But then as for complaining every time, no. Scripture quoting, as and when. Everything is actually as and when you do something. Okay. But then, yeah.
Ivana.
Okay, for me, like, my dad is somebody who, like, he will look at you and when it actually when he's tired of you doing something, then he will address your case. That one day he will sit in his room opposite you and then he will talk to you. That what you're doing, I don't like it. So what are you going to promise me that you do? What are you going to say that you do? What are you going to say that you stop doing? Then my mom, she's somebody who, like, when you do it, then she'll call you and then talk to you. She'll get, like, sometimes she really sees your phone that, like, until you actually change before I give you back your phone and then stuff like that.
Do you think parents understand you?
I don't think anybody can understand anybody fully.
You don't think anybody can understand anybody fully?
The thing is that, and even, it's not everything that, if I get married, God willing, it's not everything that my wife will understand. That's the honest truth. Nobody can understand you as a human being fully. So if you expect your parents to know at every point in time how you're feeling and this thing, because for females cry worse because they have their periods and the rest. But when you're a male, like, I don't expect that they'll understand everything that I'm doing, but I always just hope and pray that even if I'm making a decision, that's not what they want to do. In the end, it doesn't take me off course and make me go into something that I did not even dream of ever going into.
I believe that parents understand us to an extent.
To an extent?
Yes, because they've been teenagers before.
I like that.
There are certain things you have done, certain feelings you may be feeling, certain thoughts you may have, they have thought before. But then you can't compare my mother being 16-year-old when I was 16 years. There are things that she was surrounded with that I am not surrounded with.
Okay, like?
Like, for example, now we have phones at our disposal.
Okay.
TV at our disposal.
Okay.
Wi-Fi at our disposal.
Okay.
I can do anything. I can look up anything. I can see anything.
Okay.
At that time, they were surrounded by their home, their siblings, their area, their school people. So whatever they do, whatever they hear, whatever they know is what they are surrounded with. So I can say they were surrounded by their area. I am surrounded by the world.
Okay.
Because everybody can take their
So you are more exposed?
Yes, we are more exposed. So then there are certain things I may think about or certain things I may do that my mom wouldn't even dream about it because she has no idea about it. Okay. So whatever I am experiencing or whatever I am feeling or whatever kind of thought I am having, I'm not expecting her to understand because she hasn't experienced it, You
think so?
Maybe, like, there are certain things I can... So. Okay, I think so, yeah.
That's the honest truth. Because of the generational gap is wide. It's like, my mother is 30 years older than me.
Okay.
So, she can't say that she has been there. She has not been there.
She hasn't been there?
She has not been there. Because their phones, there are different things, the dynamics of even school, how school operates and everything is very different from how it was in their time. So, most of the time, it's better for them to listen, but they can give their input on how they want things to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the generational gap will always be there, so there's no way you'll be able to know or pinpoint exactly. Maybe you might have a fair idea, like, oh, around this time, you start liking girls and this thing. But how you like the girls
might be different.
Yeah, might be different from how it used to happen in their time.
You think so?
Yeah.
Your children are going to say the same thing.
Yeah. I also believe that times have changed.
Okay.
Times have changed drastically. I think like yesterday or 2 days ago, I was with my mom and she was like, her time, they close school latest by 1, 2, they are done. Me, when I was in primary school, I closed to school at 4.
That's true.
And so when she has like from 2 to the evening to do whatever she
Today
wants.
I was just telling somebody, I was chatting with somebody and I said, oh, I need to take my children through training and all that. And that the kind of things we learned at our age, you people do not know. And I don't know who to blame. I don't know whether to say you people are lazy or we didn't train you the way we are supposed to. During my time, by 12:30, we were done with school. By 1:30, I'm at home. I finished my homework and I'm helping mommy in the kitchen.
Yeah.
You people come home, you close by 4, get home by 5, 6 o'clock. You come with a pile of homework. You are finishing your homework about 8 o'clock. Weekends, worse. There's nothing like midterm. During our time, midterm is midterm. I mean, we didn't come on midterms with homework but you are coming on midterm. So I can understand.
Yeah, you go through that, and like you said, you have the time to learn a lot of things. Go to the kitchen. If I come home how do you expect me to cook?
To cook.
Or scrub something, and then the weekend to like Saturday, Friday to like our time, Friday, they beat it Friday, you are going home. So they'll give you like 5 homeworks.
By different teachers.
Different teachers, and then you have to finish that. And on top of that, you have to learn the basic life skills. So then I feel like all of that contributes to us being different from them. Yeah.
Ivana, do you have anything to add?
For me, I think they understand us to an extent, as she said, because it's not everything that I say that I mean, and it's not everything that I want to say that I can say. For example, I can't tell my mom that, like, I can't say things that are really in my head. So sometimes you have to polish what you say. So they don't really get to understand us.
Why are you laughing?
So they don't really get to understand us the way, like, we want them to understand us.
Do you think your parents have been very fair in the kind of punishments they gave to you, or some of the punishments were overboard? You think that, for the sin you committed, you deserve something lighter?
My parents, like my mom, like this, she doesn't punish, but she'll make you feel bad.
She'll make you feel bad?
Yeah. No matter, I don't know how she do it, but you see, I don't know whether it's emotional,
Intelligence.
They'll look at you in some way. Today is I'm disappointed, tomorrow is, they'll do something to make you see that. Because my mom, she really like puts her heart inside like you. So if something happens, then she hears it. You can even see the water in her eyes already. So you don't. The next time you are going to do it, then you remember, you be like,
you remember the tears in her eyes.
So you don't want to do it.
Okay.
But punishments like come and kneel down.
Or beating.
No.
Hey, then you are fortunate. Ivana.
Okay, for me, like when I was a kid, my mom would like sometimes like I'll do certain things that, and I don't know how to explain to her that I didn't do it. It was this person, and I have to like help the person.
That's right.
For example, my little sister, she broke something, and then I was the one who she saw near it. I can't tell her that it was my little sister.
Oh, okay.
So
So you take the...
Yeah, sometimes you have to take the blame for them, and then yeah, sometimes too it's like they don't really listen. Sometimes I feel that they don't listen because like you don't know how to explain to them so that they will understand, so they won't really think the wrong things about you. So yeah, Like he will see me like he said I spent a lot of time on my phone. I mean, I was searching something or doing something important, but he won't understand that. So he will take my phone and be like, you have to do this, finish this before you come back for it. Yeah.
For me, now when I think about everything that's happened in terms of punishments, the caning, I think I'm like, yeah, they are fair.
They are fair.
They've been fair.
Because now you are in the university and you are thinking like an adult.
Yeah, you compare, you think about everything. Like, I mean, my mom used to lash me. My daddy, he started lashing me like when I was like 8 or 9 or
8 or 9. But your mom started earlier.
My mom started earlier. Yeah. But then, I mean, I always used to get annoyed or angry, like, why are they lashing me? Or it's not fair. But then you get to understand why. You know, they explain to you, like, why they don't want you to do that or why they don't. My father, for example, he won't lash you until you have had the pep talk. Like, before he lashes you, you know that the cane is there. He's come to lash you. And he'll talk to you.
He'll talk to you?
He'll talk to you, like, okay, why? Then you explain. So that's, as I said, they listen. So they will try to see it from your point of view. Why did you do that? Then you explain and everything. And you'll be like, okay, so you did A, B, C, D, but it wasn't right. So I'm going to give you 6 lashes. Come. Then you take your 6 lashes and you go and cry.
But you know, what I think about like punishment, when parents are punishing, is that every parent, that's why God gave us unique parents, because somebody lashing to not change anything. You lash them today, they'll do the same thing, because punishment, physical punishment will not work for somebody to work for. Maybe she's afraid of canes. So,
but you are not.
No, I'm afraid. But we have some people that you lash them today, tomorrow they will not mind you because they are used to it. So they will take the lashes and they will do what they want to do. So it's up to like the parents to decide like which kind of punishment is effective for their child. Because if you are just lashing out anger, like you've done this, so I have to beat you, and you're lashing out your anger, and it's not effective, it's not doing anything to the child, then you're just wasting your time. So it's better for you to find which kind of punishment is effective for your child. Some people, maybe if you take their phone away, they'll become serious. Some people, when they rather do something and you encourage them, they'll change. Everybody and how.
So do you think that the parents that punish their children by not giving them food?
Now that's extreme.
That's extreme.
I don't think anything is extreme. I don't think anything is extreme. That's why God gave us unique parents. Unique parents? Yes, because you think, somebody will say slapping is extreme. My mother was slapped, she turned out fine. So
your mother was slapped and she turned out fine.
So you see, that's why God gave us. Everybody has the parents that God, because in actual fact, I don't think punishments, parents know their children and they devise punishments with their mind. Your mother can say go and stand and look at the wall, and somebody you've taken away his pride. He will never do that again. Somebody will stand at the wall and will not be affected. So it depends on the child and how he is. So if you know your child, then it can make you decide on how you want to punish. Some people, they don't play with their food. So if you don't give them food today, they won't do it again because they like eating. So they will not do it again.
Do you think your mom would have done the right thing to have gone to school without food? Would you have concentrated well in school?
Yeah, you can.
Are you sure?
Do you know, children are very unique. And
children are very unique.
So we have some people who don't even come to, like, they didn't come to school with food. Like, their parents don't have money to give them. And they come
that
to
one
school.
Is different.
Yeah. Some people too, their parents have decided that, okay, because of this and this, I'm reducing your this thing too. And it doesn't affect them in any way. You not eating and you being slapped. Which one is worse?
Which one do you prefer?
Yeah,
Not
somebody will say, oh, I prefer being slapped. So that person, the better punishment to be to take away your food.
Okay.
Somebody too will say that I prefer this thing, eating. So that person is better for you to give the person the slap.
Do you think the teachers understand you?
No, not all of them.
They don't.
Not all of them. I feel like per my observation and per my thoughts, I feel like some of them don't even want to be there. So
some of them don't even want to be there. They don't even want to be teachers.
They don't even want.
It's like they are forced to be teachers.
Yeah, because of their circumstances. So yeah, that was the job available. So I'm being a teacher. So already they don't want to be a teacher. Some of them may not even like children, and they are a teacher. So then they come and they are teaching, and you are stubborn, and they are lashing you. I mean, I had a teacher who used to lash for the fun of it.
Wow.
Oh yeah. We are sitting in class and he's walking through the tables and he's just using the cane to hit our legs. And then when the headmaster comes, then you put the cane down. Then when the headmaster leaves, you'll be like, okay, now I can continue. He will say it and pick the cane and continue lashing our legs.
Wow. And nobody ever reported to the headmaster?
No, nobody would do that. Why would you? Like, the way they are, nobody would do that. But then I feel like some of them don't even want to be there. So then the fact that you are a stubborn student or a stubborn child annoys them to that extent, so they treat you. And I also think that some of them are just immature.
Some of the teachers are immature.
Teachers just immature.
Wow.
Because like they do certain things and they punish you. Like I've heard stories of my friends who went to other schools and the kind of punishments they got. I think about it, I'm like, why would I get punished for something like that? I feel like they just enjoy the fact that they have the power to do that. You know, that's why I say they are just immature. They have power over some people. They will not get that power anywhere. It's over children that they have it, so they will rather exert that kind of power over the children. So most of the teachers don't. Teachers who actually care about the children and understand the job they are doing are the ones who truly understand the students.
Wow.
Let me defend the teachers more.
You want to defend the teachers more?
See, teaching is like you go to one class, you teach, let's say in pre-sec, you are teaching 50 students in every class.
Okay.
So if you come to a certain class, you are also a human being. So what is happening to somebody that the person is misbehaving in the class at that moment you might not be aware of that, and you are also going through your own fair share of challenges. So there's a balance between, if you want a teacher to understand, you do the things that you're supposed to do in the classroom. And you might not even get, like my sister, in a school that lashes, my sister has gotten lashed like twice. Because my sister will not do something. She does collect people that some things they will not do it, so that you not this thing. So she has gained respect with the teacher, and the teacher has gained, even if the teacher decides that he's misbehaving today and he will lash the whole class, you see Manala and pass. Because he knows that she will not even, she hasn't played with you before, she's not smiling with you. What is supposed to be done in the class is what you do. So if people know the lines, like, okay, I'm in class.
So you mean she's never been lashed?
In like my JHS, no.
Oh, wow.
She was
so she was very good.
Twice.
She was quiet.
Yeah, because when she's in class, she will not do something.
Okay.
But if you take the risk and say you want to be friends with teachers, then you must be ready for some of the things that come in.
So now let me ask you this question. Since your sister was always the quiet type, teacher like me type, she will misbehave, did you ever have the instance where your mom had to compare you with your sister?
Yeah, always. But first it comes in school, because in my eyes it's like academically, like, and behavior wise, because of the way she is. Like you can even see that, I don't know how to describe it, but she's those prim and proper and very well behaved. Yeah, well behaved people. So if you see me and then you see her, then they'll be like, but you, what's wrong? What's wrong? So, but most of the time, like when I got into pre-sec, and then you get your own fair share of like failure, like individual failure and you make mistakes personally, it makes you begin to accept the fact that it's not everything that you be the best at. So currently, if my mom compares and my sister also doesn't encourage it, that's another good thing, because let's say if we are sitting together and my mother decides to compare, my sister will be like, he's not me, or try to say something to defend me. And then
then you have a good sister.
She's a nice girl.
She's a nice girl.
Yeah, so when I'm in school, because of failure in school also, and understanding that it's not everything that I'll be good at, so I know that there are some areas that my sister is my sister is extremely disciplined. I can't say that I'm as disciplined as, we hope to get there, but I won't say that I am as disciplined as, I won't argue with my father if my father says, why can't you be as disciplined as your sister? Because in actual fact, they are not lying.
Okay, they are not lying.
When you begin to accept the things as they are, because one day they'll also compare your sister and say that, why can't you be as jovial as Emmanuel?
Like
and then I'll take my fans.
So academically, your sister was better?
Yes.
So did you ever also have the chance, not just behavior, but they comparing you academically with your sister and making you feel bad?
I was doing well in school. I was first, I was doing well. I took prizes, but let's say my sister will take all the prizes, and I'll take 5 prizes. So if they compare, she's better. And then she, her whole outlook, I'm very jovial, lackadaisical with everything. So even if I'm learning, you might not see that I'm learning. But when she's learning, she can go 4 hours, come back 4 hours, 4 hours. And then she's very disciplined with everything. So in the end, she will look like the more this is. So they'll say things like, if you work as hard as your sister, you can do way better than your sister. So they'll make comments like that, but you just have to recognize the fact that the truth is the truth. So if you just accept it and then you look for it from there, because there are also things that I can do that she can't do.
Like what?
I'm good with the computer. I'm better at certain things. So I'll just remind myself that it's not, maybe she's good at these things, but I also have things that I'm good at. So.
Did you ever have you are older?
Yeah.
So who is better, your siblings or you?
I don't know what to say, but then my mom has always called me Primpro.
Your mom has?
She uses this term always, Primpro, as in prim and proper. She always calls me prim and proper because, I wouldn't do anything.
You won't bring trouble home?
No, I don't do that.
Like Pastor Naka. She never brought me trouble.
I wouldn't do that, like he said in JHS, she was latched twice. My whole secondary school period, I was punished once. And that's because I was reading during dining.
You were reading during dining?
That's why I was punished.
Wow.
So, me and my siblings, we are all, we've actually never really been troublesome, bring trouble home and things like that. And comparison, it's always been, the older one, set an example. The older one, set an example. So if they are screaming at you or if they are scolding you, if you do that, what do you expect the rest to do? And things like that. And then when they do that and I do the right thing and they are talking to them, do you see Tonya doing that?
Nice.
So then you always have to be like, Charlie, they are looking at you, so you have to be in check. So most of the time, the decisions I make are based around the fact that I have to set an example. For your siblings? For my siblings. Because I really care about them. And I want them to, I don't want them to, I'm not that grown. But that I don't want them to face certain consequences. So, Trisha is in my school, my sister. She's in my school. And because of the way...
Your school?
When I was secondary school, Christian
High.
She's there right now. Because of the way I am, or because of the way I handled myself, she got some level of respect as young as Form 1.
Wow.
There are certain things you can't do to her. There are certain things people will not say to her because of how I am. So I remember one time she came to she has a very sharp mouth. So I remember one time she came to report herself to me that she has gone to say something to her senior. So she's coming to tell me before it becomes a case. And then one of the things, the comments the senior made that I took note was like, if it wasn't because of your sister.
Wow.
Like, so then I'm like, it's very important. Very, very important. Form 1, people punished by heart. My sister barely gets punished because of me.
Wow.
Me, I want to punish her. But then people will stand up for her because of the example I set, because of how I carry myself. So then I see it to be very, very important.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you've been a very good firstborn.
I can say that.
Do you think teachers understand you?
For me, I think if you put yourself in a teacher's shoes, you realize that there are individual students. For example, in each class, there can be 30 students, 50 students, a lot of students in a classroom. And if you say they have to understand each and every one of them, that's just one class. And they have to teach multiple classes. It's not. I won't say it's to be unfair to them to put everybody's stress and everything on their heads, because they also have their personal lives to live. And then so I don't think they will understand us fully because of everything in the background.
Wow. What advice would you give to a parent whose child is going wayward, whose child is rebellious?
They should do what they know that they can do, and then they should pray. And
they should do what they know they can do. They don't know what to do.
Yeah, parents, God put the child.
It's not surprising. It's not every parent who knows what to do.
When parents don't know what to do, it's because they think that what they want to do will not work. But you don't have to think like that, because God gave you the child. God didn't give the child to any other person. So you make the decision that you want to make, and then pray. Because God can change a child gradually. And then you making the decision, parents don't have to expect that by them doing, okay, if I do this, that means my child is going to become Albert Einstein. Because children are very different, and you don't know what parents can't literally control their child in school, control this thing. Tonya has a certain she has made many personal decisions without her parents. Her parents have been involved in guiding her, but her making the decisions, they are personal decisions. And so if a parent decides that they want to literally control the decisions that their child is going to make, it will be very difficult for them. All you can do is do the best you can and pray. And then when it goes badly, don't even blame yourself, because the truth is that you've done all that you could have done for the child. If you decide to blame yourself, you can't be God. You can't control the child and tell the child that, learn, sit down. I can tell somebody, you can take the horse to the river, but you can't force it to drink. So you can just advise and then pray, because prayer works a lot. When you pray for your child, you bring your child to church, the child can transform by themselves, and then just leave the rest to God.
So for me, I think that like a parent should try to listen more and talk less. You try to listen more to what their child is saying, because sometimes the child may need somebody to listen to them. That's what you are not providing. So the child decides to rather do other things to get the parent's attention.
Yeah. My advice, your child is an individual. You are also an individual.
Okay.
You grew up. Your child is also growing up.
Okay.
You can't control every single thing in your child's life. Okay. Like you said, prayer is very, very important. Somebody prayed for you. That's why you are who you are today.
Wow.
So pray for your child, because you are not the one taking care of the child. God is the one taking care of the child. You are just a physical person who is there to provide the child's needs. And besides, you are not the one providing. God is the one providing. Because you know that if it were left to you alone, you can't provide for that child. You can't. God is the one taking care of your children. So you have to leave God to take care of your children. it's your, I believe, what I've learned from my parents is that it's your responsibility as a parent to prepare the child.
Okay.
Both spiritually and physically. Prepare the child, pray for the child. As for the prayer, that one, you can't leave it out. Pray for the child constantly. Because as individuals too, they also hear voices in their head. They also have decisions to make. If you are constantly praying for your child and your child is going to make a decision, because you have prayed for your child, God can speak to your child through a friend, through their thoughts. Do this, don't do this. Do that, don't do that. Some people may say, I've been praying for my child, but then it's not working. Are you listening to what God is telling you about how to raise that child? Are you putting the child in the right conditions? Are you taking the child to the right places? Are you introducing them to the right people? You can't pray and sit there. Your child will fall.
Okay.
He will fall because you are praying, but then you yourself, you are not living the life you are supposed to live.
Okay.
You know, I've heard from my mom's conversations and from people around, children are very observant. Are you living the right life besides praying? Live right and be an example to your children. And maybe your rebellious child, you said rebellious children. Most children are rebellious because they do not have a relationship with their parents. I know people who are rebellious because they are actually angry with their parents for something that they told their parents and their parent didn't listen to them. Maybe to their parents it was just something, but then it meant a lot to the child. So the fact that they didn't listen to them caused them to be rebellious. So then I feel like having a relationship with your child is also very key. So then it will not be easy because teenagers, we are too new. We feel like we know everything and we are there. So what are you trying to tell us? So then I feel like as a parent, you should, try and get to know them for who they are. Some parents don't know their children. They know nothing about them. And I find that to be very, very, very wrong. Because if you don't know your child, you don't know what your child likes, you don't know how to treat your child, you don't know how to make your child happy about certain things. I mean, there are minor things that make us happy, but then the major things that mean a lot to us. If you take your time to get to know your child and take care of your child based on what you know, I feel like everything will just be...
Let me ask you this question. Don't only look at your parents, but how would you want parents to relate to their children? You get it? Don't just look at your parents. How would you want parents to relate to their children so that the children will not be rebellious?
See,
what do you expect from parents?
Because human beings are different, and I don't believe in giving set of rules because every child is different, and I may say something which somebody will go and apply it and it will never work. But the truth is that God gave you the child, and there's this saying that somebody was talking about growth, and they were saying that sometimes the family in which you are born in can determine your entire future. And so it shows you that God places us in the families that strategically, God even sometimes knew that Rev's father will be a drunkard, and God still put him in that position so that he can have a certain experience. And so the parents we have, if your parents is willing to make an attempt to train you, that's good, but we must always remember that God put us in those families and in these scenarios for reasons. If a parent wants to help their child, the only thing they can do is pray that God will give them the guidance to make the decisions, because in actual fact, we don't even know, parenting is not something that you can learn or you can go and get a course on, because it's very difficult for somebody to just come into your life and then you're supposed to train the person and build the person up. It's a very hard thing, and so parents shouldn't blame themselves or put any stress on us. They should just leave it to God and continuously pray, and in the end, everything will go well.
Ivana, what do you expect of parents?
For me, I think parents should try to, I won't say put yourself in their children's shoes, because you can't. You can't fully understand them. But try as much as possible to be able to like be somebody, give a listening ear to your child.
Okay.
It's like to listen always. Like even if you don't have time, at least like try to fit some small time, like to form a relationship with your child, so that you know that your child, will be somebody who your child can depend on to talk to. Because sometimes if you don't talk to your child may think nobody is there for them. So like try to be there for them as much as possible.
And I believe that your parents should be the parent and be the friend. Be the parent and be the friend.
Be the parent and be the friend. I like
yes,
that.
because family is important. Nobody else will be there. Like when there's nobody, there's family. So if you're not friends with your family, that's your parents, and you are put in certain situations, you may not even find it easy to go and seek help from them because they're not your friend. If you watch these foreign movies and things like that, you see the kind of relationship parents have with their children. And even now, if you watch news and things like that, you see how the children relate to their parents. And most of them may be rebellious, and you see them talking to their parents anyhow. It's because they were friends, but they were not the parents entirely. So I feel like it too is very, very important. Be the parent and be the friends. Be the parent to be there to tell the child that A is good, B is bad, C is this, do that. And be the friend so that your child can be able to relate to you, talk to you about certain things. Because there are certain things, like as like children growing up, you don't know who is that friend that you can really talk to about certain things. It's mommy and daddy, you know. So then if growing up, talking to mommy and daddy, they weren't listening to you, or they were not your friends or something like that, it will be difficult. So I believe parents and friend, very, very important.
Please let your questions come in. Send us your questions. We will have time for Ask Mama Rita. Today's segment is with the teens themselves. We want to hear from them what they expect from us and all that. Please, if you are listening as a parent, maybe these teenagers are speaking on behalf of your child. Something your child hasn't been able to tell you, these teenagers are telling you. Please listen and ask your questions. We will come to you maybe next week or next 2 weeks with Ask Mama Rita and then answer all those questions. Now, you're fine now. If you have a child, if you have a friend who is rebellious, what will you do? What will you tell that child? There's a teenager who is listening to you who is rebellious. There's a teenager who is listening to you who is rebellious because for him or her, I need to punish mommy, I need to punish daddy. For a teenager listening to you, I am doing what I'm doing because of what mommy is doing, because mommy is not listening, because mommy this, because daddy this. What will you tell a teenager who is listening to you, who is rebellious? And even those who are not rebellious, what will you tell them?
Okay, so for those who are rebellious, one thing I've learned is that you don't have to judge them based on their actions, right? Don't judge them based on their actions. If you have a rebellious friend and you are always being like, you crap, this kind of life that you're living, and you're insulting them and judging them, you haven't done any better. In fact, you're not better than that person, because you haven't done anything to actually pull the person out. And some people may directly try and attack by saying that God doesn't like that and things like that. Some people don't want to hear that because they've heard it all before. You are not the first person to tell them that God doesn't like that. I'm pretty sure in their home, they've probably heard it 1,000 times. So if you have a rebellious friend, try and see eye to eye with a person, right? And try and bring them out of what they are going through. So maybe your friend, you have a friend who is rebellious and you know that the person is going to do something, try and bring something up and get the person not to get involved in that thing. So you know that this friend I saw you that, oh, Saturday, I'm going for...
What I want you to do is to counsel a friend who is actually going wayward.
Counsel them going wayward.
What do you tell somebody who is going wayward?
Okay. Being wayward never solves the problem.
Like that.
Being wayward never... In fact, being wayward just creates more problems. You may not see the problems now, but you will see them eventually. So never take being wayward as being the solution. You should never do that. I know that it may be frustrating and annoying, like, why? Still, why? Explain to me why I have to be experiencing what I'm experiencing. Life is not fair. Nothing can go the way you want it to go. Not everything goes the way we want it to go. So then, yeah, things will happen that are not like in your favor and you may not be happy with it. But then still try and see eye to eye. I mean, find somebody to talk to. Find somebody, definitely, maybe it may not be your parents. There's definitely somebody you will find. And you have to remember that you are loved. No matter what, you are loved. Even if it may seem like mommy and daddy doesn't love you, there's somebody out there who loves you. Even if you don't see that somebody, God loves you.
I like that.
Even if you see, God loves you more than you can imagine. So then even if finding somebody is difficult, reach out to God. That one is very important. Reach out to God. Because only He can love you the way you want to be loved. Yeah. So basically.
I remember one day we were in the car and my sister was like, so mommy, so how is it that when you were young, you didn't do all the things that we did, and then she would say, oh, it's God. And I would say, tell me the steps and the things that you did. Did you avoid people, this thing? And she said that, oh, it's the grace of God. So the honest truth, what I'll say is that the Bible is a very hard thing to read. Being consistently reading the Bible is very hard, but everything that happens physically is manifestation of something in the spiritual. So if you want to go back in the right track, because sometimes you are going wayward and you don't even realize. So the honest thing you can do is to just take your time and read the Bible every day. You might not see the change today or tomorrow, but gradually, before you realize, you see that change is coming. Before you realize you're a completely new person.
Okay, for me, I just have two things to say. That one, like, if you just take a step back and look at look at everything.
Okay.
Are you okay, will you feel comfortable like looking at everything? And if not, what do you think is wrong and how are you going to solve for yourself? And then two, the other thing I'm going to say is that don't try to push everyone out, because there are some people out there who actually care about your well-being. Because you are pushing them out, you think that there's no one there for you.
We will break for a few minutes and then we will come back and we will bring the curtains down. Welcome back to Family Life with Mama Rita. It's been very, very interesting with these children. My darling, if you think that teenagers are young and they have never to offer, please change your mind. There's so much your teenagers can offer you. I have learned so much from these young people. Oh my God. Wisdom at its peak. Next week, I am coming your way with a special edition. I introduce the teenagers here. Tonia's parents are coming on next week. They are celebrating 20 years in marriage, my darling. These days, people are divorcing after 2 weeks. Some people are even divorcing after 2 hours. Separating after 2 hours of marriage. We need to celebrate this couple that have come this far, 20 years in marriage. They are going to tell us how it all started, the challenges in the relationship, and how they have been able to come this far. We are coming on with Tonya and her siblings to hear them again, what they have to say to daddy and mommy. God bless you. Make a date with me. Special edition next week, same time. But until then, I am coming your way, coming Saturday at 7 p.m. IG with Mama Rita. God bless you from the studio of Family Life. On behalf of all the teens, I want to say a very big thank you. Ivana, Emmanuel, and Tonya, you've done so well.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see you come out of the universities. I can't wait to see you have a voice in this nation. I pray over your lives that you will never make mistakes. Amen. You will never miss the mark. Amen. The way you have started, you will continue that way. Amen. You would also raise disciples. People will look at you and decide, listen, whatever we are doing, we are stopping. If Tonya has been able to do it, Emmanuel has been able to do it, and Ivana has been able to do it, we can also do it. Ivana, I wish you a happy stay at St. Rose's. It's a strict school. I'm not scaring you. You won't be eating too much. They count your provisions. You don't go with chobot. You only go with Ghana must go. You know Ghana must go. That's what you go to school with. But I wish you well. May you be protected. Amen. And for all of you, I pray academic excellence. Amen. God bless you, and I love you.
God bless you too. Thank you so much.